Welcome to the Ice Forum in Champlin. The weather outside is frightful, or will be soon anyway, but we've got good hockey for you tonight. Northwest Suburban Conference girls matchup between league newcomer Rogers and Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, pretty solid start to the year for both of these teams. Maple Grove did knock off CPCR the other night, so they're at 2-2, but they both played a couple of pretty good teams, and they both, fared pretty well. We look at this as a probably pretty even matchup.
Yeah, actually, you look at all the stats; they're pretty close. Rogers is 3-1-1. Champlin Park Coon Rapids 2-2-0. Goals-wise, scoring-wise, goaltending-wise, pretty similar. The big difference: Champlin Park's power play is clicking at 31%, which is huge. Rogers at 9%, and that could be the big difference tonight.
It's a young team for CPCR, but a lot of young talent. They like the way their sophomores are stepping in, and they had to replace a couple of key players, including their goalie, but overall they're feeling like they've got some good things, not only for right now, but for the future too.
Well, the sophomores have really stepped up. They've scored 10 of the 13 goals that Champlin Park Coon Rapids has scored this year. Done very well. New goaltender, Ms. Johnson, is doing very well, stepped right in, has done a nice job, a lot of confidence, and they feel good with her back there. So they got a pretty solid, balanced team right now, as Coach Coltis told us a few minutes ago.
Rogers, of course, coming into the Northwest Suburban this year, and by all accounts in girls hockey, everybody thinks it's a good thing. They do, but also their opponents do. It's just a good fit, good competitive program.
That's it, a good competitive program. They'll step right in and give every team they play a good game every night. And the league needed it, I think, and every coach that I've talked to is real happy about it. Rogers is ecstatic about it because it cuts down all the travel they've had to do, too. And there's some natural rivalries that could definitely, develop with being the next suburb over, basically.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's game, starting with the Royals. And Allie Hatcher, their coach said, not the biggest player around, but her heart is very big. A long-term player in their program, and she's having a nice senior year.
Well, picture this. She's played She's had 31 points last year. She's off to a good start now. 4 goals, 5 assists already, in the 5 games they played, plus a power play goal. So she's been stepping it up and doing a great job. She's small, but diminutive sometimes means speed and craftiness. So we'll get a good look at her tonight.
And one of those sophomores for Champlin Park Coon Rapids that's really been getting it done early is Abby Ness. If she can keep this kind of pace up scoring-wise, she'll be having a great year.
I think she ended up with 4 points last year totally. She's got 5 goals already. She's just laying it out there. Plus, she's got 2 power play goals. So she's taking advantage of the opportunities when they're man up and really finding the net for them. And it's been a pleasant surprise for Jim Coltis, the head coach. He's really happy with her performance. And hopefully now the upperclassmen, the junior seniors, will start picking it up too. Once they get that scoring, they're going to score more than 13 goals in 4 games.
Well, these teams have been playing regularly even before Rogers joined the conference. They're in the same section, and I'm guessing Coach Coltis is probably going to remind his girls that Rogers has kind of had their number in the playoffs the last couple of years too.
Knocked them out of sections, and they've walked into sections a few times. Champlin Park Coon Rapids look feeling pretty good about themselves. And they run into this royal roadblock, So this has got something to say about it. Plus, they're going to play them twice this year, regular season, not just once. So when sections come around, that could be a real determining game.
All right, Thanksgiving is coming up this week. These teams would like to go into that break with a high note here. We'll see who comes out on top. It's Champlin Park Coon Rapids hosting Rogers, and it's next on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back here to the Ice Forum as we get set to drop the puck for tonight's contest as Champlin Park Coon Rapids in the home whites. And of course they split time between this rink and the Coon Rapids Ice Center since the two programs co-op. This is the third year now, and both practice and games are split between this facility and Coon Rapids. They both, a couple of pretty nice rinks to work with, and obviously for both of them, it's, for one or the other, they're going to have a little bit more of a drive, but I think it's worked out pretty well. They get pretty good ice time, and coaches say they're treated well at both places and everything too, so that's always a helpful thing. Is there you get a look at Elijah Johnson, the senior, getting her chance to step in as the starter on a regular basis this year for CPCR, and has gone 2-2 this season and a 1.75 goals against. Both of her wins are shutouts too, and a .929 save percentage this year. And for Rogers, a familiar face for their fans in net, her fourth season regular, Haley Hartlage, for the Royals, and she is considered one of their most athletic players too, not just a good goalie. 3-1-1, 1.32 and an .899 save percentage. She also has 2 shutouts among her wins so far this year, and we are underway as the Bluebirds control it first here. Anna Beskalo will dump it on in. Battle for it now. Beskalo will take it back, sending it toward the wall here, and the Royals trying to break it out, but Delaney Johnson chopped it free and then hacked out to center. And then a turnover forced, and here come the Royals. Hatcher sliding it across. Oh, and it just gets away there from Paige Freeman. Back the other way now comes Kylie Scott, a very talented young defenseman for CPCR. She is just a 9th grader. Nice little foot pass to get it out of the zone, and here come the Royals up the left side. Freeman trying to gain control. Chopped away, though, by Escalo coming back on the back check. Bluebird's able to get it out. Carried up the right wing by Jaden Herr. Now a centering pass and an early opportunity. Then it trickles just wide as Hartlage didn't quite have it covered. And the rebound pushed wide by Molly Terabeza.
Terabeza being one of those sophomores that you're talking about, putting a lot of pucks in the net, got a golden opportunity there. Champlin's averaging a little over 3 goals a game, and the Royals are averaging about 4 goals a game. So I don't expect it's going to be a real scoring torrent in here tonight, Jay.
Terabeza gets it back, flipping it out front there. She tried to go to Abby Ness. Kept in at the line by Elena Hedlund. Good start on their home rink so far here. One of their 2 home rinks, as it were. Delaney Johnson picking it up now for CPCR. Banks it ahead to Ness. Beskalo calling for it, had her stick lifted. Played back to the corner. Beskalo trying to come out of there with it. Nice pass over to Ness behind the net. It just didn't quite click to Delaney Johnson. And then a wrist shot will sail wide. Rogers having a tough time getting out of their own zone in the early going here.
Good forecheck here by CPCR. Just putting it on. Delaney Johnson's had a couple of opportunities. They're kind of waiting for her to get going. She's got 1 goal already this year, but she's the leading scorer coming back from last year. She's a heck of a player. Just expecting her to get one, really get off the schneid and really get going, and all of a sudden she could erupt.
Royals needed a line change badly here, so they'll get it to center and dump it on in. Sarah McClellan back to pick it up here for CPCR. Takeaway there, though, but then chopped loose right at the blue line and flicked ahead by Kyler Shack. Royals with a little bit of a rush going up the left side, and quick pass.
Nice.
And Hatcher just missing there, and the net comes off as Johnson. Hatcher just back on the ice and took that little pass and couldn't quite finish it. So look at Joel Weslow, the Rogers head coach. 6th year with their program, and had coached in the boys and girls programs at various times at Elk River prior to that, and of course that part of the same school district 728. Pass intended for Hatcher but taken away. Kennedy Bolander bringing it up to the right side, runs right through a check attempt there, and then that shot on net knocked aside by Hartlage. Bluebirds trying to keep it in the zone here, and they're able to do so. A long shot from the point and stopped by Hartlage. But she is facing some pucks early here as Rogers has struggled to break it out. Now CPCR was changing, so getting a little more room to work with here for the Royals, and they will dump it on in. Freeman back to get it. But instead it'll be taken by Kylie Scott, headed chopped away at center, and she'll send it ahead there, and shot attempt there by Tara Beza, stick to side. Tara Beza back to pick it up, trying to center it here. Knocked loose, controlled by Avery Farrell. Back into the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end, and then a turnover, but nice play to take it right back there. That's you like to see that kind of response. McClellan lost the puck, but then immediately took it back.
Well, what you can see they're doing here, Jay, they're just getting it down deep inside the Rogers zone, trying to put pressure on the defense, and it's working, and they've created a couple. That's the second one-timer they've had that Hartlage has had to make a save on, but that system's working. 2-1-2 forechecking system, and it's putting some troubles on the Rogers Royals here.
Scalo controlling, tried to go back down toward the corner with it. No icing here as the Bluebirds will retreat to pick it up here. A little under 12 to go in the first period. No score, no great chances, but it's definitely been a Champlin Park Coon Rapids good start for them. They have controlled the puck for the most part here. Now a turnover though. Rogers trying to get something going as it's played in deep.
Coach Coltis right now, he's running his top two lines pretty much back to back right now to keep the pressure on him. I think he wants to get the first goal in this one, Jay.
Yeah, they've played well so far for sure. Down to the corner it goes. Faith Hoppy knocked down there for the Royals. Now the pass comes out to the point, and a deflection goes just wide as the shot attempt taken by Sarah Parent, one of their captains. Battle along the wall there as things get a little bit physical. Now Bascalo up with it for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Now she intercepts it again on the way out and will dump it back in and head off on a change. That'd be Johnson back to pick it up here for the Royals, and that pass was a little too far. It'll be an icing call. I think they got a piece of it, but we're still shy of the red line at the time anyway, so we will bring it down back for a face-off coming up as you get a look at Jim Coltis, the Champlin Park Coon Rapids head coach. Of course, was a coach at Champlin Park, and then the programs merged and became one, as we said, a few years back now.
Was for many years the girls hockey coach at Maple Grove High School. Now they're softball coach, but there's an opportunity.
Yeah, he won a state title as a softball coach in the spring with Maple Grove, and had double duties in that program for a while, and then now has been here in this program for a bit. Here we come with a great rush for the Royals. Drop pass, and it just didn't quite connect.
Well, I tell you, Coach Wessel wasn't kidding. I mean, he said, you know, Abby Hatcher, Allison Hatcher isn't that big, and she certainly isn't. But she gets in front of that net and really rolls.
Yeah, he raved about her leadership and everything too. Just the kind of player you want to have on your team.
Well, she's got that C on her sweater.
This will be icing against Champlin Park Coon Rapids. So we'll head back into their end of the rink. 9:45 to go here as you get another look at the rush for Rogers here that almost developed into something good as Bremen sending a nice pass ahead. And then Hatcher dropping the pass back. I don't think she realized there was as much traffic around Farrell as there was there, though. And in hindsight, maybe Hatcher might have been better off taking that one to the net herself.
A blind pass there, expecting her teammate to be there.
McClellan trying to bank it out. Instead, it's dumped back to the corner by Parent for Rogers. Scott sending it back around. McClellan's pass then got away. Now it's Rogers' turn to throw a little forecheck at him and bottle up the Bluebirds.
Oh, nice play.
Holly Johnson, the recipient of a nice breakout pass there. Sometimes you don't realize you have a little more time than you think there, and they did a nice job of picking out the right target to get that one too.
Don't always look to go up the board. Sometimes somebody's open in the middle there. It makes for an easier breakout.
And I'm always, it isn't the thing that you hear in hockey so much as maybe like football, but take what the defense or the forecheck in this case gives you a little bit too.
Absolutely. Well, the Bluebirds did a great job of reversing it and then bringing up in more into the middle a little bit, and a nice job.
Sarah Parent weaving her way through neutral and will dump it on in. First to it for CPCR was Hedlund, and gets it up the right wing side. That pass hopping over the stick of Johansson though. And now Johnson will come back up with it here for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Poke checked at center though, and Vreeman will work it in, although she had 3 white jerseys to try and battle through there. Hatcher going for it in the corner, but couldn't quite get it. Cleared up the wall, and it'll be Rogers chasing it down here. Pass picked off, but then re-intercepted the other way by the Royals, and they'll bank it ahead now for Hatcher. Allie Hatcher stops at the top of the circle. Back out to the point, they'll come with it. Josie Bolster played it down deep. And then knocked away, and down the rink it'll go here, but it's not going to be icing as it won't have enough steam on it to get there. 7.5 to play in the first period and no score on the board. These teams figured to be fairly evenly matched coming in, and that we maybe wouldn't see a huge offensive outburst, and that's kind of the way it's playing out so far. Yeah. Obviously we got an awful long way to go. That could change, but
well, considering both of them basically have less than a 2-point goals against average on them, they play pretty good defense.
Drive to the net there, and the net will come off.
Nice move coming up here and going to the net, and this is the first time Rogers really has gone after and gone to the net.
Boy, that could have pretty easily been a penalty there, I think. Bluebirds might have gotten away with one a little bit there. Abby Patton, I believe that was, that took it to the net there. We did have a number change or 2, it sounds like, with Rogers forgot jersey, so we believe 28 is Patton. To the line, but not out, and then intercepted here by Brooke Del Castillo. She gets it right back here. Another of those talented young players, a sophomore for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Jabbed away and recovered here out front by Sarah Parent for Rogers. Nice pass to Abby Patton. Tried to get the pass out front. Turnaround try and a stop there by Hartlage.
Well, I like the way the Bluebirds are just putting the puck on net. They're throwing everything they can in the kitchen sink at Rogers goalie. Yeah, we were talking to Coach Coldis too. He just said they've haven't had much puck luck. They played a good game against Maple Grove, only lost 2-0, and had some real opportunities there. Sometimes the puck goes in and sometimes it doesn't.
Controlled here by Kyler Shack. Hartlage will deflect that one aside. Circling in behind Hatcher, a turnaround try, but was blocked. And tapped out to center by Erica Tyson there for CPCR as their third line getting a shift there. Now Hatcher carrying it in. Shot denied, and then Delaney Johnson kind of ran Hatcher over a little bit there. Here comes Johnson. Johnson into the Rogers zone and firing the shot, and it deflects to the corner. They'll go right back down to Bescalo in the corner, trying to put it out front. And then Ness's shot hit a skate. She was in the right spot at the right time as the goalie deflected that centering pass, and it came right to Ness, but couldn't put it away.
Well, the referees have really got the whistles in the pockets right now. They're going to let them play.
Well, Dem, we've been hearing all day and all yesterday about how big this huge snowstorm is coming. I think there's a possibility they want to get out of here sooner than later, too.
Oh, my gosh, Jay. Oh, my gosh. Really? Oh, my gosh.
Stop there by Johansson, who hasn't had a whole lot of work so far here. She stepped in and done a nice job. Coach Colta said one game she wasn't as sharp as the others, but all in all, it was played quite well for them.
Well, she took the big burden on this year. She only played in 4 games last year, so not a lot of experience, but hopefully, she gets it out of the way early in the season. As the season moves on, she just gets tougher and tougher.
Erdal's pass deflected way up in the air here. Now deflected back down to the corner as Faith Hoppy trying to spin out of there with it. Ooh, and a near miss on the opportunity there as Ella Ochtlicker coming through. And it'll make its way down for icing there.
Just barely making it over the line. Well, kind of looking at period comparisons here, Jay. First period is Rogers' worst. They've only scored 3 total goals. In the second and third period, they've scored 17. And Champlin, Coon Rapids usually gets off to a pretty good start. 6 goals in the first period, 5 in the second, 2 in the third. So you can see the pressure that Champlin Park Coon Rapids put on early. It's probably produced a few goals.
Face-off coming up here again in the CPCR end of the rink.
I also like the fact that both coaches are very encouraged about their teams this year, and both are pleased that Rogers is in the Northwest Suburban. They've added on, and they brought a little life, I think, to the conference. It's a good hockey team, and they'll add quality to this conference.
Johansson gaining control, walking in, fires, and Hartlage able to stop that one. Pass was deflected, and Kylie Scott over to get it. Sending it around the boards, past Bascalo as she couldn't quite get there. McClellan putting it back for Scott here as they reverse it. Now Ness to Johansson. Johansson trying to play it around the D and go get it herself here. Bascalo camping out front. And then the Royals able to pick that one off. Pass is just a little too strong. That's going to be an icing call against Rogers here as they didn't quite get over the red line before trying to spring the sophomore Paige Vreeman.
Vreeman's the second leading scorer in the team, and she's also got 4 goals. 5 assists with 9 points. That's a pretty good one for the Royals here.
Kept in down to the corner, and then they passed trying to get it out front, but that one was blocked and denied, and out of there with it is Parent. Nice pass ahead on the right side as they look to steam up the right wing, and Johansson having to make a stop as Emma Rooks went to the net. Turned the corner pretty nicely there, but Johansson held the goalpost well there to fight that one off. You see her get a step and then just got her shoulders squared.
I see earlier on they were coming around, they're passing it into the middle. Now they're actually going to the net. That's the second run they've had to the net. Ooh.
Couple of cracks at it there. Johansson trying to put that catching glove over the puck, and she does. And will force a face-off. Rogers has certainly evened things out more as the period's gone on, Dan. Early on, they were spending an awful lot of time in their own zone, but they're starting to generate a few things there, too. A little fluttering shot off the blocker there of Johansson.
One of those knuckle pucks that no goalie likes to see. They had a 3-on-2 operation there for the Bluebirds. Maybe should have carried it across the line and tried to create something with the extra man.
Pass deflecting off a skate, and McClellan knocking it back into the Royals zone, and then it comes right back out. Minute 25 to go in a scoreless first period here. No really great chances for either team so far. Just kind of been back and forth, some icings, but some strong offensive play, but just enough, solid D that they're not really allowing like grade A chances up to this point anyway. Down to the corner, Tara Beza trying to help dig it out. Now she'll head off on a change as we go under a minute to play here in this first period. Picked up by Abby Patton, sending it ahead there. Tipped in and recovered here by McClellan. Johansson tried to play it past the D. Dig for it along the wall and pulled out of there by Faith Hoppy. Hoppy will send it to the corner as we approach 20 seconds to play in this first period. Escalo's pass picked off at the Rogers blue line. Then Johansson able to block that clearing attempt. But it'll come back out and the Bluebirds will have to touch up here as the puck came back into the zone, and that's going to pretty much eat up the remainder of the time here. Ness trying to get it, but cannot do so here. So we have reached the end of one period here tonight at the Ice Forum in Champlin, and our score after one is Rogers 0, Champlin Park, Coon Rapids 0. We'll have first period highlights and then more for you coming up here from the Ice Forum in Champlin on CCX Sports.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back here to the Ice Forum. As you see, no score on the board after one here in the Northwest Suburban Conference Girls Hockey matchup. Rogers and Champlin Park Coon Rapids. You get a look at a couple of opportunities in the early going. That was probably the best one. Pushed just wide of the net by Brooke Del Castillo. And then Rogers had a 2-on-1, but it didn't quite work out. There's Hartlage having to make a stop on Delaney Johnson. And then another rush for Rogers, but pretty good job on the back check there, getting back in to break that one up. And then that one going to the net there, we've figured out that's Ava Johansson, and I think very lucky for CPCR that they weren't penalized on that one. Probably could have very well been a penalty there. We have not had any penalties called. You see the shots. The edge for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, especially early in that first period, and slight edge in the overall scoring chances, but Rogers coming on and playing better as the period went, it felt like. So we'll see how things shake out for the rest of this contest here, second and third periods, as Rogers and Champlin Park Coon Rapids get set for period 2 here on CCX Sports.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Getting set for period number 2 here at the Ice Forum in Champlin, along with Dan Pickett. I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks so much for joining us for Northwest Suburban Conference Girls Hockey as Rogers and Champlin Park Coon Rapids scoreless through 1. And getting set for the second period of play. And Dan, in a lot of ways, I think the first period was what we thought we would see, fairly even back and forth. And we'll see what both teams can do to maybe generate a few more chances here. They're, played decent hockey, but it wasn't as crisp maybe as both would like.
No, you can see Champlin Park, Coon Rapids right off the bat put pressure on probably about halfway through that period. Then all of a sudden the Royals started turning it around a little bit and relieving some of that pressure and then getting some good opportunities on the later sides of that first period. But the legs just weren't rolling like they probably usually are. Now this is the Royals' best period so far by history in this season. Like I said, they poured in 9 goals in this period total. So
Rogers only had 4 players out there, and the puck was nearly dropped with it starting that way. And now they get the second defenseman on. And we're underway in period number 2 here as the Bluebirds trying to gain control here, and Johansson will bring it in. Johnson's been around the puck an awful lot, had a couple of chances, but nothing to show for it, obviously, on the board in this game so far. Now Delaney Johnson up with a shot and a pad save by Hartlage there. So just less than a half minute into the period, a pretty decent chance down low there for Johansson. And that pass gets away and swept back down deep by Bolander. Ness controlling it. Trying to put it out front. Intercepted though by Parent. Parent, a nice pass after a little bit of a dangerous decision where to go with it there. Farrell playing it up the left side, and they're offside now as she tried to regroup. I think the player closest to her was okay, but Hatcher was still a little bit in. As we get another look at that early opportunity there, I think she kind of surprised Hartlage by shooting it from such a shallow angle there, but got on her quick. But Hartlage was in position at least, left a bit of a rebound, but no harm done.
If that would come down flat, but Kayla was standing right there to smash it in, yeah. I like the way Parent's playing, though, defense for the Royals. She's made some really nice moves. That last one especially, where she had a winger coming in, faked outside, came back inside to give herself a nice clearing pass to get the breakout going.
Yeah, and you get the feeling that could be something that, you know, they were discussing about, all right, here's what they're doing against us on the forecheck. How can we do things different? And she may very well have listened to her coaches on that one, or just good hockey instinct, or a little bit of both. Royals able to keep it in with a nice pinch in there. Tried to flip it out front. Now possession gained again, and that pass won't quite connect. Bolster sending it ahead, but now an opportunity back the other way. Bluebirds on the rush, pass a little too far though for her. And now here we come back in the other direction with Anna Scherling sending it into the corner, and the Bluebirds able to regain possession. Then that pass went through everyone, but apparently was deflected, so no icing. Parent back to get it, but had it quickly taken from her. And then retaken though. Battle for it near center. Ness's pass tipped. Recovered there briefly by Johansson, but then the Bluebirds get it back. Teeing it up is Delaney Johnson. It's off the catching glove of Hartlage.
Boy, Ness made a nice play there, not stepping across the line, kind of delaying there. And Delaney kind of deked at the line.
Johnson's centering pass there was intercepted. Again, Rogers having a little trouble getting it out. Now they do, though. Ochterker carrying it up the right side. Getting slashed at a little bit there, kept possession. And now we are going to have our first penalty of the game called right there. Probably a trip, or if not that, a hook, as Bolander will get the gate here for the Bluebirds. No, actually it's not Goaltender, I don't think. Going to be a roughing call going against Kylie Scott. There's Scott, knocked
right
her down.
Yep.
So Scott will go for a roughing penalty at 2:37 here of the second, and Rogers getting its first power play of the game, first for either team, in fact.
That's good practice for them. They need it. Their power play has been working at under 10% so far this year. So maybe they can get some things straightened out here and move the puck and get some opportunities.
Back out to the point and then into the circle. There's a shot and a goal. Well, they do convert on the first opportunity as Sarah Parent will get the goal here for the Royals. able to sneak it through the pads of Johansson.
Boy, nice play, nice shot. She got her head up. She could see where it was going. I think it went through the 5-hole there as Johansson just opened up just a little bit, and I think the puck caught it and went in. Take a good look here. One thing I like, too, she got her head up real quick, and, yep, looks like it bounced off into the 5-hole.
The Parents' third goal of the season. It almost looked like it either did or came close to hitting the defenseman's stick there, too. It might have, certainly, if it didn't hit it, at least was a distraction for Johansson. So Parent will capitalize with the power play goal here for the Royals. Turnover in front, and then a swing and a miss at that centering pass. Johansson will come out to stop it here. McClellan wheeling out of there and then had that one taken. Here the Royals getting another opportunity, and that one slides just wide. Centering pass intercepted by Delk Estilo there. And then Bluebirds fans grumbling a little bit on no call on that one. And back into the Rogers zone it'll come. In and then back out.
A little bit of a gripe there. That stick got into the skates, and usually that goes for a couple, but
Abby Johnson and Rooks will get the assist on Parent's goal at 2:59 of the second. And here the Royals come again. Pass back in the slot. Ooh, and Johnson making a stop. And that was one where she looked behind her like, I think I have it. I hope I have it. But nice setup. Rogers has come out with a little jump.
Yeah, they have. They've a nice setup. Some good passes here, too. Getting it open. First we get the, well, you can see that trip. That probably should have been caught, but we made notes earlier that they have been putting the whistles away as far as letting them play.
Yeah, we had, I would agree that one could have been, and the one in that first period probably should have been called against Champlin Park Coon Rapids. But, all in all, I think I'd rather see a game where they let a few things go than when they're calling every little thing, too. So they've done a nice job overall. Here's a shot sailing just wide. Rogers, it feels like, has already had more good chances in this period than they did the whole first, I would say. They have got some jump in their skates a little bit more.
Well, they're moving into open areas, which is nice, and they're getting passes to them. Uh-oh.
Nice move. Oh, but then it's Scott losing it at the last second. Pops back out to center and then tipped into the Royal zone, but not very deep. Played back out. And will this get there for icing? It will. So we'll head back to the other end. And Joel Weslow's got to be pleased with the way his team has come out in the second period after playing somewhat of a slow first period.
Definitely, Jay, definitely. And they got their heads up now, and they're looking for each other around that net. They got the triangle set up real nice, so they kind of got an idea where each other's at, and they're getting some good opportunities.
Shot was knocked down and then picked up by the Royals as they come out right side with Rooks. Her pass deflected, and then she's able to get a little backhander on net. And Johansson will come over to cover that one up. So another face-off in the CPCR zone here, as they have definitely faced a little more pressure than what they saw in the first period. And then obviously the power play goal going in for the Royals too.
Yep. Well, we had a 10-5 ratio in shots in favor of Champlin Park Coon Rapids, and all of a sudden it's 12-8. The Royals are closing that gap.
Battle for it along the wall, and centering pass here, and that shot sailing just wide. And it'll go up out of play.
Is that Hatcher with a shot? They had a good setup anyway. Missed the net. Good pass, and that's what they're doing so well.
Oh, it did hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
That is why the faceoff coming out outside the zone. I thought it had just hit Johansson there, but glanced off the crossbar. So a very near miss for the Royals.
It was Anna Sherling that hit the post.
Dump back in. Rogers certainly playing well here to start this second period. They've scored the only goal of the game a little less than 3 minutes into this period, so they lead it 1-0. thrown on net there. Hartlage with a stick save there for Rogers. Del Castillo trying to spin out of there with it. Dug out by Justice Olgren. Now the pass bouncing away there from Tara Beza. And back into the Bluebird zone. McClellan back to pick it up.
And the Royals get a complete line change, so that dump in helped them.
McClellan looking to reverse it around to Scott. Jim Colta said Scott is really going to be a player. He said she's already playing well for us, but the upside is really big for her.
Well, she just did a senior move coming out of that backside.
Carried up the middle, and she got a backhander on net. Hartlage making the stop. Scott trying to win the puck back here. Can't quite do so.
Boy, Hartlage is not getting shook. She just stays pretty cool and calm, just directing the puck. Even when they're in tight on her, she just maintains her position, and she does a nice job for the Royals.
Coach Weslow said Hartlage won their training, their Ironman competition. Yep. And I would venture to say, Dan, that that's not terribly common for your goalie to win that, but she's an excellent skater as well.
Yeah, to say the least. And most coaches have to wait for the goalies to finish all the skating drills before they start another one. Not with her. They can keep right on going to the next drill. She stays right up with the skaters.
Johnson trying to go to the net, had her pocket picked. Nice read there defensively to break that one up. Those Royals tried to bring it back. Johnson in on the forecheck, trying to put pressure there on Erdahl. And then the pass intercepted right at the blue line, thrown on net. Hartlage directs that away. You see the speed most of the time. This Johnson, Ness, and Bascalo line, when they've come out, they make things happen. I mean, obviously it hasn't resulted in a goal yet, but you kind of notice when they're out there. Here's Ness with the puck, 2-on-2. Ness had it poke checked again. Nice stick work there to be calm with it. Erdahl just reaching out, kept her body squared, but put the stick out and broke it up. Now Farrell. Farrell a shot, stick save Johnson. A lot better pace to the second period than there was in the first. We were both kind of saying after the first that it was, it was decent, but just kind of a little sloppy here and there. But there have been a lot better rushes, a lot better skating, and even some great defensive plays here early in the second period.
Well, with the girls playing on Monday and Tuesday, they only get one practice after the Saturday night game, and sometimes that Tuesday game takes a while to get going here. Saturday, they've had enough practice. They're ready to go because, well, they just started having practice.
Oh, there's a shot and a goal, and Rogers will take a 2-0 lead. Pumped home by Emma Rooks as she rattles that one. We heard it hit iron and buries it. Probably the best, hardest wrist shot of the game for either team so far right there, and Rooks makes it count.
Well, look at where they're getting the puck too, Jay. They're just setting up all around that slot there, and those passes are going to the person who's breaking. This pass came from the side. You can see it's down low, and then it's just quick backhand to her breaking down the middle. Boy, she rifled it. She made no mistake.
High stick side is usually will give a goaltender trouble. There's not a lot of goalies that would have stopped that one. That was a great shot. So a 2-0 lead for Rogers as Rooks sniping at home. And battle for it along the blue line, and the Royals able to get possession back here as Hoppy had it and had it knocked away as Holly Johnson played it toward the corner, and they'll ring it out. Leah Hatcher back to get it. Oops, and then a slip. Centering pass here and trying to get her stick on it was Holly Johnson. Patton and Ackerkirch will get the assist. And coming at 9-10, it's the fourth goal of the season for Rooks. 6:40 to go here in the second. Rogers, there's a giveaway, and the shot will go just wide from Hatcher. Boy, that was a bad turnover there. The one fortunate thing is there was still a defenseman, so Hatcher wasn't in quite all alone here, and she had a little trouble with the puck. as well as stepping up was McClellan to try and meet her. McClellan, I don't think, was expecting to all of a sudden be facing a forward there, but at least she was in the way to bother her a little bit.
They both kind of surprised each other because Hatcher was ready to rip that thing, and then she just lost some control of it.
Well, and I admit, too, when I first saw her intercepted, I thought she was alone, and then all of a sudden there's a defender that's kind of hanging out near the net there and came out to meet her. Hatcher gets control back. Now they drop it over. Nice pass. Shot through traffic, and Johansson, a nice save. Abby Johnson got away. A good attempt, and they had a good screen as well. And, boy, nice job by Johnson to make that stop.
She got her head poked around there just in time to see the puck coming in.
Another turnover forced. Hatcher trying to keep possession here. Dug out of there, though, by Tara Beza. And a nice read at center to break up the initial rush, but the Bluebirds get it back. This time they'll go with the dump in as Abby Peterson sends it in. And Royals couldn't quite get it out. Ness gaining control. Got away from Tara Beza there. And now it'll come back to Tara Beza. Puts a little backhander on net.
Well, the defense is stiffened for the Royals here, and Champlin, Park, Coon Rapids, they can't get two passes put together in the attack zone now. They dump it in, but he gets broken up very quickly by the Royals D.
Knocked down at center and squirts back into the Royals zone here as they'll have to regroup. Ness coming in hard on the forecheck. And they'll turn and dump it out to relieve some pressure, and let's see if it'll get there for icing. Just barely. Patton was going to be there first. Jim Coltis' team not doing quite as well as he would have liked here in the second period. A reminder to watch Sports Jam each Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 on CCX or on demand at ccxmedia.org as we're heading down. This week, our fall all-area teams in volleyball and football. The highlighter, along with some highlights from the Turkey Trot tournament. Rogers has stepped it up big time in the second. Johnson to save. The rebound loose, and Johnson able to cover it as the Royals, yeah, their rushes have looked so much better in the second period. They've done a lot of things a lot better than they did in the first, and really generating some chances now. Well,
Hatcher and Atcheskirk are right there just pounding into the middle, and they got behind the Champlin Park Coon Rapids D, and well, I'll tell you, they're just out hustling them. They want it more right now.
Smart play, too, to put that shot low on net because she knew she had rebound possibilities out front. Holly Johnson lost it, but they get it back, and an opportunity now is Tyson carrying it in, but that shot was blocked. And then it pops back out to center. Re-stolen, though, and here's a chance for a little mini 2-on-1, perhaps. Back pass there, and nice job defensively by Scott to get her stick out and break that one up, but it still wound up on net.
Still bounced off Faith Hope there and went into the net, got to make a save.
There you get a look as you see it goes off the body of Hoppy after Scott got her stick on it. They joust for it in the corner here. Farrell playing it down deeper there. Hatcher trying to go get it, but first to it was McClellan. And thrown out front, and that one will come all the way through as they're looking for a little deflection as Farrell went to the net. And now it'll come back out as the D had to give up the blue line there, thinking that the Bluebirds were about to get possession. Dump back in, McClellan up with it, but Farrell reads that one and takes it. Hatcher working away from a back check there. Hatcher playing it down deep as they try and cycle it around. Hatcher will get it back. Ooh, and snuck that pass through. It's laying loose in front. And now a drive, and that goes in. It's a goal. Abby Johnson sneaking it through traffic, and I believe it'll be her goal, as there was a lot of bodies in front, and
yeah, I don't think Johnson even saw that
see
one.
it.
Yeah, not at all. Just relentless pressure, and yeah, you could tell that the Royals have been practicing their cycling drills. They kept rounding around in that corner. When they lose it, somebody would always be on the way to pick it up again, and just dominated that whole deal. Gets back out front. Well, guess what happens when it goes out front? Bad things for the defending team.
Oh, it looked like it did hit a defenseman maybe too, and changed direction a little bit. Made it even tougher for Johnson. Freeman will get the assist. It is the second goal of the year for Abby Johnson. So a 3-0 lead for Rogers. A dominant second period for the Royals.
Yeah, there we go. Just there's a good example. The D beat the forward to that puck, and they've been doing it consistently this period. They're winning the one-on-one battles, and then when they get the puck, they go into a cycling situation and bring it out front. They've done that very well. You can see here, got out front. D jumped right over, beat the forward to it.
Yeah, maybe it didn't. No, I don't think it did hit anything at all. Nope. Just kind of a little tail to it, and as we said, Johnson, I don't think really could see that puck very well, and it snuck through her. So Johnson beats Johnson there for goal number 3 of the night for the Royals, and they have taken a 3-0 lead. And boy, it's funny, just based on the first period, you didn't really think either team was going to seize the upper hand to the extent that Rogers has here in this period.
Well, Rogers has the potential. I mean, they're in their 3 wins this year, they've outscored the opposition 18-2. So they can definitely put the puck in the net.
Here's Johnson now. A chance for a 2-on-1 as Ness with her, but the D gets back, and Johnson couldn't drag it around as that one didn't quite develop the way it looked like it might initially. Ooh, and nice stick handling here. Ochterkirk carrying it up the left side, throws it on net, pad save. Bluebirds gained control here and popped out to center. Johnson up with it. Now another 2-on-1 chance. Gets it for Ness, but could not quite reach it. So we go under a minute to play in the period. Then that back pass toward the point was intercepted nicely by Hoppy there, and she'll throw it in deep.
Yeah, there's another instance now of a Royal beating a Bluebird to the puck back there. She just happened to fall. Uh-oh. To the corner, knocked away. And this one back down into the Rogers zone. They'll regroup and try and get one last good rush here. About 25 seconds to go in the period. Now swept on in. Control gained there by Tyson. Knocked down at center here for the Royals, and pass getting away as they now will look to dump it in or tipped in, and that's going to do it for the second period. And the Bluebirds, I think, probably glad this period is done. It was very much a Rogers period. Our score after 2, courtesy of 3 goals in the second, is the Royals 3, the Bluebirds nothing. We'll have our second period highlights and then the third period of hockey coming up here on CCX.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back here to the Ice Forum in Champlin as Rogers putting 3 goals on the board in the second period to grab control of this one over Champlin Park Coon Rapids as we take a look at some of the first period highlights. There's the first goal, a power play goal scored by Sarah Parent as they quickly capitalized on the first penalty of the game, and then that opportunity doinking off the crossbar there. but they kept the pressure up, and then a great shot here under the crossbar and in by Emma Rooks to make it 2-0 Royals. And then about 5 minutes after that, Bluebirds can't quite clear it, and there's Abby Johansson sneaking one through traffic and in at 14:19 of the period. So a 3-0 lead for Rogers. You see they outshot CPCR in the second period 10-6 to pretty much even things up on the scoring opportunities. Certainly were heavily in their favor in that second period. And again, that only penalty of the game so far was directly led to a power play goal for Rogers. So CPCR has their work cut out as they try and fight back into this one in the third, but we saw things change a lot from the first to the second, so they're hoping that they've got a possibility of changing things back on their side in the third. We will drop the puck for the third in just a moment here. It's 3-0 Rogers here on CCX.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
And welcome back, as we saw a lot of smiles in that second period for Rogers, Dan, and rightly so. They were kind of a different team from the first period to the second. They looked a lot faster, winning races to pucks, putting good hard shots on net, which we really didn't see much of in the first period. They're looking to bottle that formula and carry it into the third, I think.
Well, they got into the interpretation of what you call a half-court offense. You know, they got down there, they forechecked it, got into a cycling, and then busted somebody coming down the slot. They had at least 4 opportunities from the slot there and cashed in on 2 of them that way. And then there was a power play goal, but they look good. And you know what? They don't back off in the third period either. They've gotten 8 goals in the third period, and I expect them to continue exactly where they are.
Bluebirds helped them out with a few turnovers at inopportune times as well, too, and that's something I'm sure they discussed a little bit, as, you know, don't need to panic with the puck and throw it into the slot. You got to make the right play. The safe play sometimes is the right play.
Well, they got to get a forward involved in the defense here. The defense is kind of left hung out to dry. But Rogers was moving their feet in the attack zone. The defense has got to match that. They got to anticipate where it's coming from and get in the way.
So here we go in period number 3. 5 skaters aside to begin the period. Again, we've had just the 1 penalty. It's been a play-on type of game. There have been a few others that maybe, you know, could have been called, but they are making you earn a power play in this one for sure. Royals looking to get things set up. Pass coming back to the point. Johnson to save, a big rebound, and then it hits traffic in front, as Rogers immediately going to the attack here to begin the third. Farrell had it jabbed away. Johnson coming up with it here for CPCR. Sent right back in. Scott will gain control. Had it jabbed away, and they'll have to regroup and go again here. And that will be an icing call against Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Early on, we saw a fair amount of those in that first period. A lot better flow to the game, too, in the second, Dan. Not just that Rogers played better, but just overall the game had more flow and more excitement.
Yeah, and so far in this period, I'll tell you, Rogers is restricting the space and movements at Champlin Park Coon Rapids. They're having trouble getting out of their zone. They can't even get anything moving right now.
Del Castillo slams it around, and that one intercepted at center. Picked up by Bolster, and she'll throw it into the Bluebird zone. They hustle in after it, and Rooks coming up with it, but then it's knocked down, and here comes Beza. Got it around the defenseman Bolster. Beza shooting, and a glove catch there by Hartlage. But she made a nice little move there, using the boards well, passing it to herself basically there, or maybe a little deflection by the D, but either way, she kept skating.
She outquicked the D. The D did not make a good transition, turning to her right, and quick shot too. It almost caught the Royals goalie by surprise.
Shot block there led to a rush by Patton, but stop made by Johansson. As that's a defenseman's worst fear when you line up a shot from the point and it hits the shin pads right in front of you. And they did a good job to recover though, as Patton looked like she might have a partial breakaway, but they did a solid job catching up to her. Puck free in the circle after that face-off. Now Royals trying to dig it out, and they do so. Oh, and that one deflects and nearly snuck under Johansson. The initial shot attempt was not going to be on net, but then it deflected, and Johansson just barely got the pad down in time.
And Hoppy right there with a beautiful deflection between the defenseman's legs. Johansson was all over it, but boy, it almost caught her. Good stick placement by Hoppy there in that deflection.
Race for it here. Bascalo trying to free that puck up. Royals couldn't quite get it out. Now they will. However, this one, let's see, it's going to be an icing call. It did not hit the defenseman on the way by there. So we'll get back to the Royals end of the rink here. 14:54 to go in the third, and a 3-0 Rogers lead. All of the goals coming in the second period.
And Rogers now has taken the shot lead, 18-17 over the Bluebirds.
Bolster getting the pass ahead, and then almost intercepted there, but missed by the D. Played down to the corner. Royals again getting it set up in the offensive zone. Hatcher circling high. She'll shoot. That one's deflected. Bluebird's able to get it out, but only to center, and it's relayed right back in. Johansson stopping it there for Scott. Scott, a good skater for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, and here she comes into the zone, firing a rising shot that goes high off the glass. Nice counter by the Royals. Hatcher, I think, was at the end of a shift. I was just thinking, I was surprised she was still out there, and she immediately dumped it and headed off. Smart play. I mean, there's a temptation to want to do too much when you feel like you've got a little space there, but she knew that that shift needed to end.
And I like the fact that Scott grabbed that puck and just carried it out herself. You know, Rogers has been stopping those passes and getting in the passing lane. Scott just took it and ran out with it, which is the safest play of all for a breakout.
Couple of shots blocked right there. And I think sometimes that's where film work can really come in handy too. Oh, and there's a huge collision and an injury, and I think we're going to have a penalty call coming against Rooks, I believe.
That's Sarah McClellan.
Yeah, Rooks is going to go here probably for either a rough or a charge. Yeah, going to be roughing. And I think Rooks is kind of saying, you know, it was a collision and I happened to get the better of it, I think is what she was feeling, but let's see. Yeah, she kind of brought the arms up.
Yeah, she did.
So I think a good call here, yeah. Oof, that was a tough fall there.
Looks like the rib cage, or maybe the rib cage got the wind knocked out of it a little bit.
Joel Weslow asking for an explanation there. And, you know, I have to admit, the first time I saw it, I was thinking it was more of just sort of a mutual collision, but seeing it again, I think it's probably the right call there.
She saw it quick enough that she got her arms extended, and that's what turned it. She wouldn't have got the arms extended. I don't think they might have called it a collision.
So power play for Champlin Park Coon Rapids as they try and get back. And you were saying before the game to Coach Goltis, what's the formula, because they've been doing well with it.
25% is good. They're running at 31% right now.
Johansson getting it set up here for the Bluebirds. And they go back down deep to Johansson. Trying to get that Rogers box stretched out. Estilo down in the corner, leaving it for Delaney Johnson. Now back, it comes Estilo, trying to work her way off the wall. So far, they've not really been getting it toward the net much. Now Johnson trying to jam it in. Rebound try was stopped as well, as Hartlage was ready. Now put out front, and that one will deflect away. Played back down deep. Royals trying to see if they can't get it out. Estilo will go to the point with it. Pass deflected, but gets there anyway. And Hartlage got her stick out to block that pass. Sometimes you can be your own defenseman or your own helper back there with wise use of this goal stick.
The best penalty killer in your team's got to be your goalie. So that's given, but I like the way Champlin Park was moving, especially when they were forcing the back door there, which would open it up for their points later, but they got a couple good opportunities there.
Stolen by Parent. Parent working her way in deep with the puck, and then got a little follow-up help there, but it goes wide. Parent, though, eating up some time, keeping that puck deep in the Bluebird zone. Now Estilo sending it ahead. Here's Delaney Johnson. Johnson shooting, but blocked. Penalty is now over. Puck loose in front. And the Royals able to work it out of there. And here's Rooks fresh out of the box, chasing after it herself. Good, strong skater, strong body as she keeps possession. Turns, fires, and that one glancing high off the body in front and goes off the glass. Played in deep into the Rogers zone, giving chase there, Delk Estilo, but beaten to it. Royals trying to build on a 3-0 lead, 3 second period goals. Here's a pass back toward the point, deflected. Johansson got to it.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the big differences in this game, too, is that the Royals' defense, especially Parent, have been better tonight than the Bluebirds' defense. I mean, they have taken charge here. They set things up. They played good defense in front, shutting down those chances after early on in the first period.
Bounces to the Royals line, but then right back out. Beza chases it down in the corner here for CPCR. Got to pass away, but off the skate of her. Rink-wide pass will eventually make its way there, and then the shot attempt goes behind the Rogers net here. 9.5 minutes to play here in the third. 3-0 Rogers, our score. All 3 of the goals coming in the second period, and Royals had a slow start, but boy, the long forgotten now. They've played much better in the second and so far for the most part here in the third. Parent gaining control here, and we'll send that one down. That's going to be an icing call here. Peterson kind of did the slow chase down of that, and Raptors, some of their fans kind of grumbling, and even their coaches from across the way. But icing is the call. There you see.
Could have played it. Could have played it.
Yeah, she could have gotten there, but
yeah.
Peterson's shot hits a teammate down in front, and then a centering pass hopped away. Royals able to get the breakout and dump it in. Vreeman will get there first. Battles her way through a stick check. Now it comes to the front. They work it around, and turnaround try there from Farrell, deflected over the top. And that shot attempt is blocked. Royals will dump it back in and tag up and come in for check. Abby Peterson controlling here for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. And it deflects deep down as the Bluebirds were changing up. Back to get it as Erdahl. Johansson got a piece of that pass, and then it's overskated by a couple of players. Johnson had it briefly, but couldn't gain control back. Defender falls there as Vreeman brought it back in. Del Castillo had it, but couldn't get it out. She'll pick it up again here, though. Johnson trying to chop it loose. And the Royals won't let him out. Here's Rooks shooting, and stopped there by Elia Johnson for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, and she will hang on, force a face-off. 7.5 to go in the game, and Rogers maintaining a 3-0 lead.
7.5. You know, Champlin Park Coon Rapids, they got to have somebody grab hold of this thing and grab that puck and go. Rogers is playing so well as far as blocking the passing lanes, getting in the way. If they don't catch the pass cleanly, Rogers Royal is there all the time. There we go, right there. That's what they need.
Ness going to the net, had a jab loose. Del Castillo a follow-up try. Oh, and then they gave it right to Ness. Defenseman wanted to just clear it and handed it away.
And Ness did exactly the right thing there. She grabbed it, she took control, and she got it inside the Rogers zone and made a play.
Good strength here by Johnson. Johnson fires, but it's blocked. Maybe telegraphing her shots a little bit. They've been getting a piece of quite a few of them off the side of the net. That's where you kind of work on quick release. Oh, nice move by Scott. Scott will drop it for Johnson, teeing it up, firing, and a blocker save there by Hartlage. Bluebirds trying hard to generate something here in this third period. Little back pass, opportunity out front. It goes off a skate as she tried to dump it over there for Grace Anula.
Boy, it's tricky when it gets in the defensive skate right there. That can go into the net real quick.
Brought out front, but they couldn't get the shot on. Kyler Shack trying to bring it toward the net. Royals get it back out to center. And then offside as Shack was still in the offensive zone and on her way out, but puck came back in, so we'll get a face-off. 5:53 remaining here in the contest, and Rogers continuing to hold a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, CPCR has got to get somebody, like I said, get a few people out there that can rush the puck and let them carry it and run. They can skate with Rogers. They just need to beat a few people and get it going instead of always trying to pass it.
Bolster shot, deflecting wide. Royals looking to cycle it out of that corner. Nice pass in behind. Farrell.
Wow.
Good stick handling work. Hatcher leaving it for Farrell as they continue to cycle it. But then got out a little too high with it, and that's what you don't want to do, turn it over up there. Now they get it back, though. Opportunity out front. Oh, and the pass was just blocked. Right idea, I think, to go left with that puck for Hatcher, but picked up there by Hanula.
Yeah, even when they lose it, Jay, it's almost like what Gretzky says. I don't see where the puck's, going. I see where it's going to be. And Rogers is doing very well anticipating where that puck's going to be. And that's because I think they got an extra step. They're forcing the play in the issue. And the puck will go your way when you do that.
Off the draw, it comes back out to center. Parent receiving that pass and will softly bank it ahead. They're making some smart plays too in terms of when to dump it in, when to keep the puck deep. They know, it's different. I mean, yeah, you're still trying to score, but when you got a 3-0 lead, you want to make sure that you're not giving the other team an opportunity to, an easy opportunity to get back in it.
Exactly. Perfect. You don't need to score right now. If you get an opportunity, great, take it, but don't force it.
Dump back in deep here.
The one thing they're going to do, what Rogers is going to do, is make Champlin Park Coon Evans go 200 feet every single time. And don't turn it over, like you said, where they did before, right at the blue line there.
Tipped ahead into the Bluebird zone. Back to get it is Scott. Pursued there, and a nice play to break up that pass. And another thing that, as we get a look at, Rogers, it feels like has done better against, in the physical one-on-one matchups too. They were kind of getting bumped around a little bit early in the game, it felt like, but not really anymore. They're keeping their feet moving. I think is as big a reason for that as anything.
I wonder who brought the pots of coffee down into the locker room between the first and second period. I mean, you're right. It was really obvious, wasn't it? Really obvious.
Chop back in. Hartlage has had a little bit of work here in the third, but they've done, it was interesting thinking back to our pregame talk with Coach Westlow. He said, definitely Hartlage is a good goalie, but he said our team has been pretty good about not allowing a lot of real quality shots in most games that our defensemen know the game well and they skate well enough that they're generally able to keep things to the outside, and that's kind of bearing out here.
Well, their overall rink defense, they cover the whole rink. They support each other really well. If one misses, boy, the next Royal's right in line to cause some havoc there. And like you said, too, that you pointed out, they're very smart with the puck. They're not dumping it for the sake of it, or they're taking their time, trying to set up some soft passes, do the right thing. This is kind of a clinic right now, to be honest with you.
Back out to the point. That shot is deflected down to the corner, but they seem to work well from those spots, too. Del Castillo sending it around the boards. And it's going to be Tara Beza getting to it first. Pass across. Johnson will track it down. Delaney Johnson centering, and Del Castillo had her stick lifted by Farrell coming back. Now a wraparound try. Wow, that one nearly went in. Hartlage scrambling back into position here. 1:50 to go. Rogers still leading at 3-0.
I find it interesting, Coach. The Champlin Park Coon Rapids coach Jim said they are very good at lifting sticks, especially in front of the net. He said you can count on it. It'll happen every time. If you don't have that stick planted down on the ice, they're going to lift it.
Back out to the point. Here's a shot, and Johnson making the stop there as Bolster is sent spinning. And we'll get a face-off here in the CPCR zone. Rogers looking to win their 4th game already early in this season, and certainly looking like they're going to do so based on that strong second period and the way that they haven't really given up much in the way of chances down the stretch either.
Well, if they could put 51 minutes together like they put the second and third period together, they're going to give a number of teams in this conference a run for the money. And yes, I mean Maple Grove, and yes, I mean Blaine.
Yeah, they did have a loss to Blaine already, 2-0, but from their coaches saying that they, had probably as good or better chances than Blaine, and just couldn't get anything past a good goaltender. But so they're not intimidated coming into the Northwest Suburban, I don't think at all.
Not at all.
1 minute. Under a minute to go now in the third as Rogers trying to secure, as I said, victory number 4, but also shutout number 3 it would be if they're able to keep that 0 on the board. Opportunity here. Lauren Hatcher getting a shot as she gets one of her first shifts of the night. Maybe it is her first. Now it'll pop free to center. Johansson sending it back in. Scott back to get it. That pass hit a body and behind the net. And then it'll come back out to center. Royals able to gain control. Bank pass was a little too far. And then sent back in. They'll have to touch up, but we're going to tick down under 10 seconds here as Rogers going to pick up their 4th win. No goals in the first, no goals in the third, but it was Rogers netting 3 in that second period, Dan, and in about an 11-minute span, all of the goals in the game coming during that time frame. They get the shutout from Hartlage with plenty of help from Rodney, and overall a nice, impressive performance for Rogers here.
Really, and then they got a power play goal, which was under 10%, which got them rolling, and then they just started picking up their game. Their cycling was excellent. Their defensive play was very good, and they just took charge, and they wanted the puck more than the Bluebirds did, and it showed the difference. They're a good hockey team. They've been a great addition to this conference so far. I'll be interested to see how far they go this year.
So Champlin Park Coon Rapids will fall to 2-3 with the defeat here, and as we said, win number 4, 4-1-1 for the Royals as they congratulate each other on the ice. Hope you've enjoyed this one here tonight, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us at CCX Sports. Once again, your final score, Rogers 3, Champlin Park Coon Rapids 0.